What's good, everybody? It's Blackout Survival Prepping, and we are back. And today we're going to show you how to grow some potatoes. All right. So growing potatoes is not too difficult. Okay. It's basically all you need is a container. Any type of container will do. Just something that's going to hold your soil. Okay. So you can use a raised bed like what I'm doing to grow my potatoes in, or you can use 5-gallon bucket. You can also use bags. Okay, I've even seen people take tires, old tires, and they stack them up and put soil in them. And as the potatoes get ready, they just remove one of the tires, and the potatoes grow inside of your container in that manner. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip the camera, and I'm going to show you how I grow potatoes in raised beds, and I succession plant my potatoes, so I'll be able to show you what those look like in all phases, from planting those all the way down to what they look like when they're time to harvest. All right, so let's flip the camera. Okay, so what we're doing is we're looking at a raised garden bed here. Okay, so we're gonna grab one of our fingerling potatoes. Okay, these are smaller potatoes, and people usually eat these whole, and they also can roast them and things of that nature. So it's still a potato. Now I'm going to show you, this is going to be a little different than probably anything you've seen from anybody else before. All right, these do not have the sprouts on them. Okay, they did have the sprouts, but I want to show you the eye of the potato to demonstrate to you. At each eye there will be a sprout, and on that it'll shoot off a root system, and then the potatoes will grow out of that sprout. So that's how you're going to grow your potatoes. Now you can get seed potatoes. These are called seed potatoes. You can get these from a potato seed seller, or you can make them yourself. You can also get them from the grocery store. Okay, excuse me, I am super dirty. I've been out here planting my fall garden all day, and thought that I would make you guys a video about how to grow your own potatoes. So let's flip the camera. All right, again, fingerling potatoes. Now I'm going to take my spade, and I usually space my potatoes about 8 to 12 inches. So either 8 inches to a foot, and that way that'll give them plenty enough room to spread out. I also plant them at a depth. Now I plant mine a little bit deeper. As you see this raised bed, it's actually deeper because it goes down into the ground. I dig my raised beds out deeper so that I can plant potatoes in each one. Anytime that I do a raised bed, I always plant them. I always make them deep enough to be able to grow my root crops. And so my potatoes, I always want to have those beds deep. But when I plant these seed potatoes, I'm going to make about a 6-inch hole. Okay, and the reason being is because I want that potato to make sure that it doesn't pop above the ground. Now, people heal those potatoes because of that very reason, and I'll show you in my other beds how I do that. Okay, so we got that first one planted, and then we're going to take a look at some of my other potato beds. I don't just grow them by themselves either. I grow them along with other vegetables. And that's a little bit different than most people. Those potatoes, they're gonna bush out and they're gonna get pretty big, but I succession plant, so usually when I do that, I've got other plants in there that are coming along with it, and so I'm going to show you some of those beds. Let's plant this other seed. Okay, now the other crazy thing about this is, like I said, they have no eye, so they will still grow. It's just going to take longer for them to sprout. Okay, I'm going to pop that in there. Now you're going to see something, like I said, crazy. I believe these are onions that I had in there previously, and they just sprouted out of nowhere. Potatoes and onions do not grow well together whatsoever, so that's something you should never do. But yeah, I'm doing it. The only reason why I'm doing it is because this is kind of an experiment, as well as I'm showing you how to grow your potatoes. That did not have well, it previously had some root system on it, but it fell off when I was bringing it out. So that may or may not sprout. We'll see. And I have some eggplant back there as well. Okay. Now, what we're gonna head over to my other bed. So let's get off the ground here and let's go look at this other bed. And we're gonna look at the next phase of what a potato sprout looks like coming out the ground. Okay. So as we go through the garden, remember this is a survival garden. This is my second bed here. Let's flip the camera. All right, as you see, I've planted more seed potatoes, and in here I also have some cauliflower. I believe that is purple cauliflower coming up. Now, this is what your potato sprouts will look like as they come out of the ground. Okay, they almost look like little tomato plants almost, but that's what your potato plants will look like coming out of the ground. All right, now as they come out of the ground, they get bigger, they'll begin to bush up, and when they bush up, this is what they'll look like. Okay. These are raised beds. This is a wooden raised bed I made this years ago. This is a galvanized steel raised bed, and there's potatoes growing in these suckers. Okay. I also have marigolds growing in here with the potatoes. These help with the insects as well as the soil. Now in this bed, it's come out some. That bed is about, well, it's a really long bed. I made it too big actually. I'll teach you all how to build your own raised beds and where you can get these panels at for much cheaper than other places. But these are sweet potatoes. Now sweet potatoes grow differently than regular potatoes. Okay, inside of there you'll see I have some beets growing. Okay, in with the sweet potatoes. Okay. And those are carrots. We're going to cover more on carrots, but we're looking at potatoes right now. All right, so this is what your potatoes are going to look like. Now, when your potatoes begin to flower, okay, you see these flowers on these potato plants? These flowers let you know that you have potatoes. So underneath here, we have potatoes growing. These will be ready to harvest probably in another 4 weeks probably. Okay, sweet potatoes. Look, there's even some broccoli growing in here with these sweet potatoes. Okay, it's all lettuce going to seed. Now let's take a look at what a finished potato plant looks like. Alright, you see the yellowing of the leaves? Okay, that means that these potatoes are just about done. The whole plant will yellow and begin to fall over. This will be my 3rd potato harvest. Okay, we succession plant potatoes and we grow them all year round. And this is how you get a big harvest, enough to eat off of for a whole year. Just gotta grow a lot of it. Store them. Make sure you subscribe and follow us, and so that way we can show you how to store these potatoes. But the reason I go deep in the raised bed is because you'll see how they begin to raise up out the soil a little bit. Potatoes grow down, but they will, grow to where it'll push the soil upwards, and that's why people heal their potatoes. But again, I grow in beds so that I don't have to bend over as far. Like I can literally just, I'm in a tiered garden. My gardens are tiered, so I can just kind of stand up and pull those potatoes out. All right, so that's what your 3 phases look like. We're gonna go over to the garden really quick. Take a look at some of the purple potatoes. You got the purple and red potatoes. So when you're survival gardening, you're prepping, homesteading, again, spread your gardens out if you can. That way, if you get a varmint, you know, in your garden and they go in there and they eat up one of your plots, you won't lose everything because you got other plots in the other areas where you're growing things. Okay. All right, let's switch the camera. Okay, these are in-ground potato beds. Okay, I've got some purple potatoes over here. You'll see some of the stems get a little purpley, but these are all in ground. And again, you'll see I've healed these potatoes because these are in ground, and you want to keep the sunlight off of your potatoes. Okay, some more potatoes. They're healed. Now over here in ground, you will see that there's some weeds in there with these potatoes. It doesn't bother them much. As long as you keep the bulk of the weeds out of there, you're gonna be okay. I treat my potatoes with diatomaceous earth. Dust them off. Keep some of the grasshoppers off, some of the fake ladybugs. As you see, I've got some squash in there with them. I have so much squash and zucchini this year. Well, every year it's always like that, but we do a lot of canning and a lot of storing of potatoes. Okay. All right, so we have an upper potato bed, and then we have a couple of potato beds that are out in the forest, and I'm not gonna go way up there. This will show you the gist of how you should grow your potatoes. Okay. So for more of these type of videos, make sure you subscribe. I can show you how we grow our food pretty much year round. We use greenhouse, mini greenhouses. We use a greenhouse to get our seedlings started, but mini greenhouses to keep the stuff going through the winter time. Depending on your climate, your location, your growing zone, you can do it too. Remember, the sunlight also affects how your vegetables grow. So the sunlight, your climate, your temperatures, even your elevation, that's going to affect how your vegetables grow. So if you found this information informative, make sure you subscribe. We've got previous videos up showing you how to grow all type of things, showing you how to handle your livestock, talking to you about normal everyday things, deep thoughts, deep subject matter on some things. So make sure you subscribe, and until then, I'll see you soon.